Welcome to Super Meat World! And holy shit, we found the chapter that we wanted to play right away. The passenger, onto the first page, onto the first item of the list, into the first recommended list.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah, more so considering that it's your chapter, because yeah, in order to make things a little bit more different into this update, well, we're gonna speak with the creator of this chapter, RockLeeSmile. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I figured that it would be better to have the person who made this chapter in order to talk a little bit more about it.
Well, we're already to the second level.
Yeah, we're blazing through this chapter. Yeah, the first level.
Wow, you didn't die at all on that one.
Yeah, to be fair, it's really easy. It's one of those levels that probably would have been way more interesting if Super Meat World will save times, because at this point it will pretty much just be a time trial level, and people would be like, okay, I'm gonna try and beat the time that this person has settled, but since there's no save time at all, well, I don't know, it just doesn't have the same appeal.
When I was making that one, I wasn't sure if that feature would eventually make it to Super Meat World, so I was sort of designing it with that in mind.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Yeah, even at one point I wanted to design a speedrun-like chapter, but I decided that it would be pretty dumb in the end. But yeah, this
Actually,
level...
most of these levels had that in mind.
Yeah.
This one too, I mean, even though it's a little awkward.
Yeah, although I do like the gimmick of the level, and I also like how come the platforms are kind of sliding in and out of the level like this, and you have this little hole that you have to jump through. I mean, there's no real way to die into this level, but it's still pretty tricky because you have to find the proper timing in order to jump through.
Yep. And this one, which I made the zoom level way too far for.
Yeah, but that one... But at the same time, at least you can see everything. And I also gotta like how come you can clear the entire level in only one jump.
Yep.
I remember the first time that I've played this level, I was trying so hard to just carefully hedge my way through all of this until I figured that, hey, you can jump through everything all at once.
Yep. That was the surprise. A lot of these levels, actually, that's sort of the secret, is that they all seem to have, like, this way that's the obvious way, and then there's, like, the if you take a closer look way to get through it.
Yeah. And this level right here is pretty much one of the things that make me realize how bad the engine of this game is, because now I'm recording, the frames per second are at 59, and this is enough to fuck up the entire level, because I'm going faster than the blocks which are disappearing. So clearing this level is a huge pain in the ass, whereas usually it's really not that hard to beat.
And I'm very thankful that you turned down the sound of the blocks smashing on and off.
Yeah, because, I don't know, this is just really not that nice sounding in the end.
No, it's not. It pretty much deafens everyone.
Yeah. Okay, you're gonna have to concentrate on this level. Also, I wasn't not sure if the slash or the dot, I'm not really sure how you call this character again, was supposed to be a minus, considering that this is a low gravity level, so it will make sense that this level is called minus mass or something.
Negative mass, yeah.
Oh.
Edmund had to shorten it for the proper release since it couldn't fit that many characters.
Yeah, I know something about levels that don't fit into the required characters list. And I'm even surprised I beat that level in only 3 tries, because it really is hard to control.
This one would be the one that I think you'd have a huge problem with, but then again, you're kind of an expert at this, so maybe not.
Yeah, I just found out that the easiest way to make it through this level is to simply rush through it.
Yep.
If you stop only 1 second, then you fucked up the entire level. Because going up the vertical shaft right here is pretty much impossible, because you kind of have to figure out the timing to the blocks and how they appear, because it's kind of hard to figure out. But if you're not stopping through it, there's really no trouble going through the level at all.
It was a trap, basically. I wanted people to spend an hour trying to figure out the pattern and realize when they get pissed off and rage quit that they can actually just run full speed, and it totally worked.
Essentially, this game is all about going at full speed. So yeah, this level is pretty particular because there are several paths that you can take through this level. You've got the upper, the downward path, another downward path, and I'm pretty sure that there are even more paths, but usually most of the paths will end up leading you here. But if you take the upward paths all the way, then the level is much shorter, but it's a lot harder because most of the tricky obstacles are right here, and they're not all that easy to deal with.
Yep, and it's just the 3 paths, but yeah, the top one is definitely designed for speed running.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you're gonna go through and do that one too.
Yeah, I wanted to showcase the upward path because it's probably the most particular one of the bunch. It's pretty tricky, but at the same time, it's also pretty neat.
There's another one that if you run full speed, you can actually get right through it if you do it just right.
Yeah, and you also need to go at full speed here too, just in case you couldn't notice. And yeah, I had to tie at the very Yeah, we're just gonna keep on going because, well, I figured that we could spend an hour onto this level if we wanted to.
Yeah, we get the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing, however, that I don't like about this level is the look. I don't know, it just feels a little bit too greenish to me.
It's very green, I agree.
Yeah. But in the end, the level still plays kind of well, but you have to be pretty careful with the ending here, especially here. This one Sable can really catch you by surprise.
The reason it's actually so green, it's a little known fact about this one, is I actually designed it so every level in the chapter, if you were to lay them out like a screenshot of each one, it actually forms a spectrum.
Holy shit. I never will have figured that out. So, yeah.
I spent a lot of time on this chapter, man.
Which pretty much will be the complete opposite of what I've done. But that's pretty much another story. Oh, I really like this level though. Because, yeah, you have to go and get this key because, well, due to the way that the engine of this game is coded, you have to wait for at least some seconds before keys can break all of the blocks, and here, this way, you can pretty much set the level into motion. Essentially, you just get the key on the top in order to serve it as a distraction, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a workaround, but I think it actually came out pretty good for it.
Yeah,
I really didn't want to abandon that idea of the keys dropping like that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and the way that it's integrated is also really seamless, so in the end, it's really well done.
Thank you.
And yeah, this level, I always wondered why there was no poles in order to make it so that the gears will swerve all over the place like that. This is one level that seems really tricky, but isn't all that hard when you look at it. Oh, and this is probably my favorite level of the entire chapter. I just really like the gimmick here. Yep.
Have you gotten it so you can pick up all the keys without any of the blocks breaking at the bottom?
I think I've did it once, but yeah, it's been a long time since I've done that. But in the end, I still managed to do rather well. And I really like the blocks at the bottom because, well, they're pretty much a safety net, and this pretty much means that, well, it's not all trial and error.
Yep. Yeah, I originally made it so there were none at the bottom, and that was far too annoying.
Oh, and yeah, this one platform just killed me even though I was like 1 pixel off the other part where I was. I really don't like this level.
I will fully admit that this level's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, it's just kind of unforgiving, because you just mess up one jump like that and you're dead.
But I kind of like the progression that you sort of have to learn the path through it, and then there's like, you can sort of see where the platform's going to kill you, but on the other hand, the platform a lot of times will glitch out. So there's some shortcomings with the engine, like you said before.
Yeah. Essentially, Super Meat Boy is pretty much great game, but rather poor engine and overall.
Which is too bad, because it's such a brilliant platform for a platformer to be in. Like, the way it's executed is so well done, with a few little hitches.
Yeah, but there are just a couple of times where the game just kind of glitches out. After all, there were these times, for instance, where in hell you would die simply by jumping on a platform, because I don't really know what... Come back, Meat Boy! I don't know where you are!
That's weird. I haven't really had that happen on mine. Usually that doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, but then again, it's pretty much impossible to predict all of those things ahead of time, because you don't really see the ending screen whenever you develop levels for this game.
Well, I did a lot of testing. I had like 6 or so different people that were playing this through when I was still working on it. I think you were one of them, right?
Yeah, I helped out testing this chapter. I've seen most of these levels into the early beta forms back before there were some really good decoration work done on them.
I admit this level still has pretty poor decoration, like the blocks are really bare.
Yeah, I like the background though.
Yeah, I sort of made it all about the background for that one.
Yeah, with all of the gears that are turning, the red poles and everything. It's too bad that the overall level just kind of feels off. And wait, are those Tetris blocks down here?
Yes, they are. Well, you call it an early Fez influence.
Okay. Yeah, Fez before it was Fez. In fact, was it even announced or known back then?
I think it was announced, yeah, it just didn't come to be for quite a while till afterward.
Yeah, because to be fair, I didn't really follow the creation of that game that much.
So what did you think of this one?
Oh, I really like this level. This is another one of the levels that I really like into the chapter, because there are two ways in order to beat it. First, I'm gonna show the laborious way. And yeah, the way back can be a little bit tricky if you take too much time. And I remember the first time that I've played this level, I pretty much was idling around waiting for the gravity orb to come back. And well, my initial reaction was pretty much like, oh my god, do I really have to wait that long? Because I was just like, huh, holy shit, I made it! But, no, fuck, I just missed the lift.
Yeah, that was the evolution of how this one came to be as well. I like the concept that you would follow this gravity orb, but I sort of felt the same way, like, I really don't want to sit and wait around for this.
Yeah.
So what can I do for people that don't want to sit and wait around? And that would be the second half.
Yeah. And once again, we'll be showing it off whenever we'll finally be able to get through this. This is harder than it sounds, and, well, in theory it seems like it will be such an easy game because, well, an easy level, I mean, but, well, it seems easy because all that you have to do is pretty much just to let the gravity orb guide you around, but it's much harder than it sounds because, imperceptibly, you can just end up onto the left and the right without noticing it, and then you'll pretty much fall or rise all the way to your death.
Yep, you got it though.
Yeah. After how many attempts? Well, yeah.
Like 7.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more because, I don't know, they just blend in so well, but I don't know, I really like the replay here because you have all of these really slow-moving meats orbiting all over each other.
Nothing like slow-moving meat.
Yeah. You always need some slowness into this game in order to counterbalance how fast-paced it is. And yeah, this is the I'm in a hurry method. And I really like how come all of the blocks are pretty much arranged in such a way so that you can speed through most of this reasonably well without having to think too much about it, but it still remains pretty tricky, as you might see. But yeah, you see the one key which is rising up there? Well, this is what you need to do in order to finally be able to speed through this level even more, because there was no key earlier because it disappears into the wall if you take too much time, but yes, if we were fast enough, we've earned our shortcut to the end of this level.
And you'd be amazed how many times I moved around those breaking blocks to make that quick run through more strategically, like, possible.
Yeah.
Because if they weren't exactly where they are, it would spend a lot of time just falling in, and yeah, thankfully it works.
Yeah. In fact, I'm really surprised at how effortless most of it eventually turned out. Oh, hey, that's another level that I've played into one of my older Super Meat World videos. And this is also one that I like, because, well, I don't know, in one way, this is one level that I probably shouldn't have liked because, I don't know, because there are potential for you to fail really hard into okay, just like this, I suppose.
Yep.
But yeah, if you hit a button and you end up being locked out before the gate surfaces, you have to do a whole lot of backtracking, but most of the time, it's usually just, you just have to go from point A to point B without wasting too much time. Thankfully, it's a lot lenient, so you shouldn't really have to backtrack.
I actually turned up rather the timer, so there's a little bit more time, with the exception of the last gate.
Yeah, the last gate was actually the one that caught me by surprise, and I figured that I was gonna be so clever when I first did this, but... Well, that's another story for another day. But in the end, I didn't end up suffering too much in it. I'm really surprised at how well the recording for this chapter has been, considering that most people consider this to be a pretty damn hard chapter in particular.
Yeah.
Well, it's much
easier. You actually did really well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But with that said, it's much easier than your other chapter that you did beforehand, which... Well, I've never still finished it, so...
Oh man, I was gonna ask if you were gonna do that for your series, but maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. There's still like 4 or 5 levels in it that I've never been able to beat, and I'm not too sure if I have this courage to try them out.
And the level you just did right there, Cargo, that one came so close to being scrapped.
Yeah.
I could not find a way to get this to work, because I really wanted it to be that you could jump off those sides. But due to the way the engine is kind of glitchy and doesn't like the platforms too much, it would oftentimes just shoot you right out of the box, which defeats the point of the level. So I made a compromise, it worked out, and thankfully it's all good.
Yeah, eventually all that needed to be done is to reduce the number of obstacles and put saw blades onto the moving platform so that you're not tempted to jump onto the walls in order to avoid danger.
You found the top route in this one.
Yeah, This is the much easier way of doing this level, because otherwise you have to do this really narrow jump underneath the saw blade, and it's a pain in the ass to pull off perfectly.
Yeah, I ended up nudging that top saw down about 3 down arrows before I finally uploaded it.
Oh. And how the hell did you manage to come up with all of this crazy lighting too?
I just had fun with it.
Yeah, I'm just
a lot of options for just
surprised.
artistic expression.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that the game didn't end up lagging like crazy because of all of the light sources.
Well, I turned it down a little too.
Yeah. Other than the contrast into this level, because almost everything seems purple, so it can be a bit hard to find out your way through this level really well, but other than that, this is a really good way to end this chapter, and yeah, I've cheated into this level, I've practiced it before recording, because I remember this level being really hard, but unfortunately now, nobody will ever see how hard it is, because I've got it on my first try. Sorry, but we're gonna have to suffer another day.
Did you not? You didn't do the speedrun path through it. That sucks.
Yeah,
right.
I was not aware of it, unfortunately.
Oh well. 79 deaths, pretty good.
Yeah, given the circumstances, because if I kept my first run of this level, it would have taken far more time than that. So anyway, that'll be it for the passenger. Thank you for being alongside with me in order to do this.
No problem. Thanks very much for having me.
Alright. And that'll be it for the passenger. Coming up next, the mother of asshole chapters. Expert Remix by Team Meat.